Hi guys, hope you are good. Hope you are well. I wasn't planning to go live today, but people were asking, so I tried my best. How you guys doing? Jeffrey says possibly hi, but Jeffrey saw Liverpool put no effort in yesterday. So when Liverpool put no effort in, Jeffrey is thinking, why should I put the H in if Liverpool can't be bothered to put the H in? And I totally see where you're coming from there. Fish is also refusing to put the H in. Fish is saying I, but Grace is saying hi. Fish is saying, Uma, yo, eat, bro. I've already eaten. My diet is not particularly good at the moment. I ate a pizza and I ate the entire thing. So it's not great at the moment, but that's life. That is life. Grace is saying, yo, Uma, drink. I have a drink here. So that should keep me company. Mr. Default says, United, how you doing? I saw the game yesterday. I can't lie. I was a bit, I say saw the game. Watch the highlights on YouTube. I was a bit jealous of the Mbeumo goal because that's what I've been wanting Liverpool to do for the past 6 months. Have a bit of speed. They just broke on the counter attack, started running at 1,000 miles per hour, and then just whacked it in the goal. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want Liverpool to do. But whenever Liverpool go on the counter, they counter very slowly. They provide the opposition with ample time to get back. And by the time Liverpool finish their counter, if I can even call it that, the other team has got 7 players back. I've still got Liverpool Burnley on the thing, as you can see, which I will correct. Give me a second. Jonathan says, hi, it's me. How you, Jonathan? Hope you are good. Hope all is well. Let me correct that thing because it still says Liverpool Burnley. Who am I apparently supposed to be watching today? You can see Aston Villa against Everton. That'll do. And they have kicked off a minute ago, and I'll set that timer in a bit. He would have been a good Salah replacement. Plays on the right, is pretty fast, left-footed. He's the type of player Liverpool would have gone for a few years ago when they didn't when they didn't go for stars, when they went for kind of Premier League proven players who were ready to take the next step up. So it reminded me a bit of, say, the Sadio Mane signing to a certain degree. Which is why I've always said, to be fair, I thought it was a good signing. Martinez and Maguire are currently under police investigation. Is that for assault or some other crime? Hi, it's me, Leo. Sorry, I mean Jonathan. To be honest, even if your real name is Leo, which you revealed yesterday, I just feel like Jonathan has such a better ring to it. Because it just sounds so posh, right? Jonathan. I'm kind of liking it from that perspective. Joel is a Chelsea fan. Pretty cool. I just had a thing pop up that said somebody's invited me to co-host, and I'm like, what does that mean? Yeah, you must be happy with Liam Rosenior. Seems to be making a pretty good start. I think you won 2-0 yesterday, unless I'm imagining that. For the disappearance of Erling Haaland. See, I've got him in my fantasy team as the permanent captain, so I just want him to stop disappearing. Give me a sec. Grace says, I wonder if Uma was there the whole time. I wasn't there the whole time, but I did see some of your conversation, which is great. I'm liking it. I like to see it. Jonathan had said 6-7. You wanted me to pin your 6-7 yesterday, but I couldn't because there was another pin message. But there you go. I should have pinned it for you now. I hope that makes up for the delay. Fingers crossed. How you doing, Stephen? I also have a black shirt on today, the Inter Miami away shirt, black and pink. Good stuff. Is that the one you mentioned before? The one with Messi on the back. Yeah, I recall that. Do you want to be referred to as Stefan or Stephen? Do you have a preference? I should really set the timer. Give me a sec. The fallout from the Liverpool game yesterday has been funny but also predictable, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. It's Leo. How do you know? Because you mentioned it yesterday. You did a big reveal where you said, "I've been lying to you for 8 months." To be honest, I don't think it's been 8 months, but it's been possibly 6 months. Has it been 6 months? How long have I known you for? How long have you known me for? That's a good question. It's probably more around 6 months. But yeah, you just revealed that your name was actually Leo and not Jonathan. Rank these keepers: Ospina, Szczesny, Fabianski. You kept saying W Szczesny. I think he's your favourite, so I'll put him number one. Grace says, when does Gornik play? Grace is being a good friend to Fish because Fish was asking this earlier. So let's have a look. That proves I was spying on you because I know because I know that Fish was asking this earlier. So Fish's team from Poland, you're playing Friday 23rd of January, but the time has not yet been decided. That's a bit wild. So Friday 23rd of January, that's less than a week away, but the time still says TBD. I've never seen that before, but first time for everything. How you doing, RG255? Hope you're good. I can't wait for the king to return. Who is the king in this context? Are you talking about King Isaac? King Alexander? Alexander the Great or another king? My real name isn't default. I know what your real name is. I recall from when you joined the YouTube stream once and it accidentally had your real name on it. But I've kept it to myself. I generally have a good I have a good memory with names. First name begins with P, second name begins with J. I don't 100% remember the surname. I think I remember it, but I definitely remember the first one. Yeah, got good memory. Got good memory. Stephen wishes to be referred to as your second favorite viewer, Stefan. I'll take that. Who does that mean? Who is my first favorite? That is the question. Jonathan was here for the first time on the Inter PSG match, as in the final. I think you were here before that. I think you were here. I think you were here before that. RG255 likes GTA 5. It is a good game. My favorite GTA game of all time has to be Vice City, but GTA 5 is pretty good. Yeah, that's how I remembered it. I couldn't quite remember if the third name was Jackson or Johnson, but yeah, that's how I remember it. Yeah, I don't remember either. Probably my first ever football stream was in March, so it's been less than a year. But there was nobody there. I had a guy who would kind of dip in and dip out. And sometimes he randomly comments on my YouTube saying, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do remember you. You were the first person that I ever interacted with." So but yeah, it must have been last season. Siraj says, "Who's winning? 0-0. You should be able to see the score underneath my double chin." I uploaded another short yesterday. I uploaded a clip. And the only thing I noticed is because when you upload the clip, it's alongside all the other clips, and I'm like, damn, my face is way bigger than a month ago. So I need to fix my diet up. Yeah, Grace hasn't known me long. Maybe about a month. About a month or so. Mr. Default like San Andreas. San Andreas was pretty good. It had by far the biggest map. Jeffrey says, "What's your take on the Reds yesterday?" That's a very good question, Jeffrey. My take is the same take as last week, and the same take as the week before, and the same take as the week before, and the same take as the week before. It's just the same thing, isn't it? It's just the same thing, week after week. Boring performance, no passion, no intensity, no nothing. No, very very little positive to kind of speak of. The team's not taking enough risks. The team isn't aggressive enough. Just too much sideways passing, if you know what I mean. Sideways, backwards. Sideways, backwards. It's just that over and over again. I don't see. It's a bit of a tricky situation because I don't see it changing unless you get rid of the manager. But then the flip side to that is, if you're to get rid of the manager mid-season, that means the next manager doesn't have a full season and doesn't have the transfer window. So if you were to get rid of the manager now, it's almost as if, whilst that would be good in a certain aspect, it almost would not be fair on the next guy. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't kind of thing. Fish says, how good was Chris Kirkland? I liked Chris Kirkland. I remember when Liverpool signed him from Coventry. That shows how old I am. Mr. Default says, can you check on TikTok when you followed someone? Possibly. I'm not too sure, I highly doubt. I highly doubt we're winning the Premier League, unfortunately. Now you're not Johnny and you're not Leo. You're Jonathan, because it just makes you sound posh. Berticus P Maximus. Berticus has put more effort into his username than Liverpool have put on the pitch in the last 3 months. The Reds just passed the ball sideways. We miss 66. We do. The only thing is, I think you're right. The only thing is, there also were a lot of games last year where 66 was not there because he was injured, and it still wasn't like what we are seeing today. My theory on this, and I don't know if I'm right, and to be honest, I'm probably wrong. But my theory on this is there is just a complete lack of pace in the team. Who is fast in the team? Last year you had, if you think about last year you had Luis Diaz, who had the brain of a goldfish, and you had Darwin Núñez, who had the brain of a dead goldfish. But what they did have is they had raw pace. They had pace to burn. Who's got pace? Who's got pace in the team now? Frimpong, okay, but Salah isn't quite as fast as he once was. Isak is not rapid. Ekitike is not rapid. Gakpo is not rapid. Rio and Gamoa can't play that often because he's got school tomorrow. There's just no raw pace in the team. I think that's the biggest problem. Just the complete lack of pace. If you saw United's goal yesterday, on the counter, bang, rapid pace. And just think about how much weight Brian Mbeumo is carrying when he's running. I mean, if he's willing to carry that weight as he runs, then Liverpool don't have any excuse. I just think there's a complete lack of raw pace. Ekitike is probably the fastest one, but he still doesn't strike me as rapid. Sadio Mane rapid. I think that's what we need. That's the way I see it. Mr. Defoe says slot in or slot out. Generally speaking, slot out. But for me, that is not the entirety of the discussion. It's slot out, dependent upon who you get in to replace him. If it's just slot out for the sake of it, then I'd be like, no. If it's just slot out, get Gerrard in, then I'd say no. But if it's slot out and then get somebody competent in, then I'd say, yeah, let's do that. I almost feel like they have to answer the entire question, instead of purely focusing on the emotional part and then being like, damn, who do we get in to replace him? Jeffrey says, yeah, I can't say TAA's name. No vision, no forward planning, keeping the ball for no reason, no attacking prowess. That is all 100% correct. And you can understand that happening, but it's the fact that it's been happening for the past 6 months. And then I don't know if you guys watch any of Slot's post-match conferences. If you don't, you're not missing much. But he just always says, "Oh, we had 5,000 chances, and then the opposition had 1 chance, and the opposition scored." And I just feel like he's making excuses at this point. Grace says, "Who you supporting? I want Villa to win." Yeah, to be honest, I'd say I'm probably lukewarm, but given that the opposition is Everton, that would mean I automatically support the other team. And since Man City can't seem to get their act together, then I need Villa to do well to challenge Arsenal. Jonathan has so much aura. I know you think me calling you Jonathan means you don't have aura, but it has so much aura. Berticus P. Maximus says we lost a lot of players who are willing to take on other players. That's a good point as well. So the team has lost a fair amount of aggression. How good was Stefan Onshow? To be honest, I was never the biggest fan of Stefan Onshow. I was always just happy that he had Sami Hyypiä next to him. He was all right, but he was never that special. Cinema Pongal was more of a sub, to be honest. Was never really a first team player. Nathan says that's an interesting picture. It actually seems like no team apart from Arsenal want to win the league. I hear what you're saying, but the flip side is whenever Arsenal get an opportunity to extend their lead, they always squander it. Yesterday would have been the perfect opportunity just to extend their lead over City, and they ended up drawing. Chris Jericho, who is potentially going to break the walls down. Can you break the walls down of whichever team that Liverpool are playing? Because if we can get you to break the walls down, then maybe Liverpool can score. But to be honest, I don't trust them to walk in a straight line and hit it into the net. Stefan, not Steven, says not just that Liverpool are slow, there's no young fast wingers anymore, emphasis on possession. I agree with that as well. What irritates me is, and I've mentioned this before, last year you had Diaz and you had Gakpo. So the opponent didn't know what type of left winger you were going to get. Were you going to get the tricky, volatile one in Diaz, or were you going to get the inside forward in Gakpo? So there was a degree of unpredictability last year on the left wing. And additionally, if Gakpo was not working, you could bring Diaz on and it was completely different. If Diaz was not working, you could bring Gakpo on and it was completely different. But in losing that option, oppositions now know 9 times out of 10 they're going to face Cody Gakpo. And 11 times out of 10, that guy is going to cut inside onto his right foot and smack it at the goal. So Liverpool have lost a lot of unpredictability. As Jeffrey says, yes, Slot is gaslighting now. He is starting to sound a bit more desperate in his comments. He would say these same things. If you watch press conferences from a few months ago, he would say these exact same things, but with a smile on his face. And now he's saying the same things, but he's not smiling anymore. Berticus says, wouldn't it be great Isn't that a song? Like, wouldn't it be? It is a song. If Villa win the Prem, I would love that. I'd be super happy with that. Purely because I don't want Arsenal to win the league. Jonathan says Leo has aura. It does, but Jonathan has the most aura. Do you think Liverpool can win the Premier League this year? I was going to answer it, but Jeffrey's already answered it. And to be honest, I can't answer it any better than that. He says, not by a long shot, Charlotte. Jonathan saying, Chris Jericho, welcome to the best channel on earth. I'm liking the positivity. Mr. Default says, wouldn't it be great if Man U won the Prem? It would be great. It would be great for you, but not great for me. But the funny thing is, even though I don't want Man United to win the Premier League, if you forced me to pick between United and Arsenal, I would go for United over Arsenal. And I never thought I'd say that. Do I drink goat's milk? No, I've never had goat's milk. Nathan says the Gucci hat hard, not gonna lie. I appreciate that. To be honest with you, it's not real, but I am at least honest about it. What about Sander Westerwelle? Sander Westerwelle was quite good. Danny Murphy was quite good. I was always disappointed when he left for £2 million. I thought he was better than £2 million. TT Kamara was decent. He's a bit of a cult hero. Patrick Berger, I really liked. I remember he signed and they gave him the number 15 shirt and he had a little ponytail. There was a time period when I was a kid where Patrick Berger was my favourite player. And I believe in the 5-1 win against Chelsea, I think he might have scored a nice goal in that game. And then I just remember being quite sad when he left. I believe he went to Villa, if I remember this correctly. But I have fond memories of Patrick Berger because he was a bit different. He was a bit of a number 10 as well, and you didn't really have number 10s back in the day. Mr. Default says, if someone made me pick between Liverpool and Arsenal, I'd jump off a cliff. It is a tough decision. If I was in that situation, I'd probably pick Liverpool purely because you've experienced Liverpool winning the league recently, so it won't have as big an effect. I think it will have less of an effect. Beticus loves my honesty. I appreciate that. How you doing, Dale? Hope you are good. Hope all is well with you. Have you got a score prediction today against Villa? Pretty even game so far. Yeah, it must have been around July. It must have been around July, August time, which is not too which is not too long ago if you think about it. Jonathan is saying I spent 64 GBP on a sandwich. I've never spent £64 on a sandwich in my life. The most I'd spend on a sandwich is probably £3. Nathan is calling me Unc. I'll never get used to that, to be honest. Who's your favorite Premier League player of all time? Mine is Ozil. I'd be tempted to go with Stevie G. I appreciate that's a bit stereotypical and it's not really a good answer, but that's probably what I'd go for. Stefan says Hearts in Scotland, Villa in England. Lens dans le français, bit of a league win variety. That would be nice for a change. It's nice. It's nice when it's different teams winning things. Provided you don't mind those different teams. Mr. Defoe hates Liverpool but hates Arsenal fan base. I know where you're coming from. Jonathan says, how is a cutie like me a nerd? I mean, a nerd is probably a positive thing. I thought that had positive connotations these days. Dale is going for a 2-0 win. Well, Everton on the attack here. Could happen. Could happen. Mr. Default is almost 24 and he gets called Unk. It is unfortunate. The worst part is, I had a delivery last year, and the guy who delivered it was probably about 60. And when he handed the parcel over, he called me brother. I'm thinking, really, brother? You're 60. In what world? I'm roughly half your age, Fred. That's damaged my ego. I think that's the point where I started dyeing my beard. Fish says I look like this. I highly doubt it. I'll Google it since you are Fish. What the hell even is this? What is this, and who is this? And weirdly, it's got a gigantic head like I do, so it's probably quite a good likeness. But I don't even know. I don't even know what this is. But weirdly, I see what you mean, because I do have a proper massive head. I kind of almost don't want to find out more about that, to be honest. Yeah, that's my. I'm like, what even is that? What even is that thing? Messi or Ronaldo, please. See, whenever I answer this question, I have a 50% chance of getting it wrong, and more often than not, I seem to get it wrong. So my answer to this, and Grace is not going to like this, and Mr. Default is potentially not going to like this. My answer to this is Messi, but I think they're both great. I think they're both fantastic. And just because I say Messi is great, it doesn't mean Ronaldo's rubbish. I think they're both amazing. But but I would I'd be leaning towards Messi. Why do you think Slot is not pulling Elliot back? It's a good point. To be honest with you, I just don't think Slot fancies him. There were even times last year when the game was crying out for Elliot and he just wouldn't bring him on. I just don't think he likes him, and I suspect it's a physicality thing, because he's not the tallest, he's not the biggest, and physicality is a big part of the game these days. So I suspect that's why it is. Of course, the real reason could be that Harvey Elliott has nude pictures of Arne Slot, but Harvey Elliott hasn't cut his eyes out yet, so that's probably unlikely. I'd suspect it's a physicality thing. Which team are you a fan of? I was going to say, unfortunately, Liverpool, but I'm not that far down the rabbit hole yet. I'd go Liverpool. How about you? DJ Darkus says the Devil's lettuce and a few pints. Anyone? Sorry, Man United fan here. You must be quite happy after the result yesterday, and rightfully so. I didn't see the game, but I did see the highlights, and to be fair, you absolutely battered them. Villa are through, but nothing happens. The fact that you had all those disallowed goals as well was pretty crazy. And additionally, Donnarumma made a lot of good saves yesterday. So if they didn't have a 8'7" giant in goal, you might have got a couple of more goals there. So even though you won that game by 2-0, it almost does not reflect the reality of the scoreline. Yeah, I do. it's tough because I think Ronaldo and Messi are both very good, are both elite. But if you force me to pick one, I'd go for Messi. But that doesn't mean Ronaldo's bad. If you know what I mean. It's like, do you want chocolate ice cream or toffee ice cream? And I might go for chocolate ice cream. But that doesn't mean I hate toffee ice cream. I would happily eat an entire tub full of toffee ice cream. Not that I'd happily eat Ronaldo. I mean, I've probably gone down the wrong route with this analogy. But I'm hoping that suffices. I agree with this answer, as it seems to be the answer of many people. Good to hear. Good to hear. What does your username say? Is that kanji? Is that Japanese, or is that a different language? Fish says, how good was Igor Bishkan? Igor Bishkan is a bit of a cult hero. To be honest, generally speaking, he was terrible. But he did good in the Champions League campaign. Jordan Ibe, not great. Kevin Keegan, before my time. Milan Barros, not great. Villa through, saved. Dirk Kuyt, average. Dirk Kuyt was absolutely amazing at Feyenoord, and then when he came to Liverpool, wasn't quite the same. But he's a bit of a cult hero as well. One of the main reasons I say CR7 is because he's done it in multiple big leagues. True. He's done it in England, he's done it in Spain, he's done it in Italy, and he's done it in the biggest league of all, Saudi. I joke. But he has done it in multiple leagues. I guess the retort from Messi fans would be Messi had some very good performances in the Champions League against Man City and so forth. Messi also won a World Cup, but I think they're both amazing. I almost feel like it's a bit of a dangerous debate to a certain degree, because I almost feel like to prop one up, you've got to prop the other one down. But yeah, I'd say they were both amazing. DJ says, everyone's up the creek without a paddle at the moment, meaning Arsenal, Liverpool, City. Can Villa grab the Prem by the boo-boo? Who knows? I certainly hope so. I would love Villa to win it. It would be vaguely reminiscent of the Leicester City season to a certain degree. It wouldn't be exactly the same thing. I think the Leicester achievement would still be better, but it'd be nice for Villa to win it. And it'd be especially nice for Villa to win it if it means Arsenal don't win it. I'll be honest, I'm coming out with all these sophisticated, mature reasons, but the real reason is I just don't want Arsenal to win it. That's me being honest. I'm saying, yes, I think this would be exquisite. Nah, that's why I just don't want Arsenal to win it. Rank these players for leadership off the pitch. To be honest, I don't really know. I don't really know what goes off the pitch, to be honest. What I will say about Van Dijk is he's a very good leader on the pitch when things are going well, but when things are not going well, I'm not sure he's as good a leader as what we have had in the past. Grace says, want your daily joke of the day? Of course I do, provided the daily joke is not just Liverpool, because I think that's the joke. Oh my God, Everton have just scored. But I think it's been disallowed. To be fair, Liverpool are not the daily joke. They are the monthly joke currently. But the daily joke is good. What do you call an elephant? That doesn't matter. I was going to say my ex, but that's really harsh. Oh, irrelevant. That was pretty good. Berticus says, I agree, Messi over CR7. Both are amazing, but I prefer Messi's style of play. Yeah, I think that's fair. They're doing a VAR check for this Everton goal, for this header. It almost feels like whenever you prop one up, the other gets propped down, and it almost becomes a bit unfair. So I think it's fair to say both were amazing. Jesus Christ, Fish is going old here. How good was John Welsh? John Welsh at one time was heralded as the as the successor to Steven Gerrard. And I believe on Championship Manager 4, he had a very good rating on Championship Manager 4, what I recall, but he never quite lived up to his potential. Smith, I don't know who that is. Stephen Warnock was quite good, left back. And he's still bitter to this day that Rafa Benitez did not play him in the Champions League final. Raven, that's a professional wrestler. Whitbeard, I don't know who that is. DJ says, if we United can't win it, I'm a Villa fan all night long, man. Same here. If Liverpool can't win it, I'd be happy to see Villa win it, because Villa are a big club. They do have European pedigree, and especially if you consider where Villa were not too long ago, towards the bottom of the league, it would be a pretty amazing story if Villa were to win it. And they're a proper club as well. Passionate fans, massive stadium. I think it'd be amazing. Stefan is old enough to remember Everton winning the league, also Blackburn and Leeds. Wow. I remember Blackburn. I'm old enough to vaguely remember Blackburn winning the league with Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton and Colin Hendry. But that's as far back as I go. I appreciate that, Berticus. Thank you. Mark Smith, I'll be honest, I've no idea who that is. I'm not going to pretend. Zach Whitbread, no idea who that is. David Raven sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't remember them. Grace says, my mom panicked me the other day. She said Tesco was shutting down. She said the new shop was called I Lie a Lot. I do get the joke. I lie a lot. Crossed by Villa, but it's saved. DJ is off now, lads. It's been fun. Good luck, Villa. Take care, DJ. Enjoy your Sunday. I was going to say afternoon, but it's pitch black outside. Sunday evening. Fish says, what about Anthony Letalic and Salif Diao? Anthony Letalic, before he joined, I believe he was number 13, a number 13 shirt. Before he joined, he was super hyped up to be the super amazing talent who was going to turn out to be world class and who was going to take the league by storm. Didn't quite happen. Didn't quite work out for him that way. But he did get a assist for Luis Garcia in the Champions League quarterfinal against Juventus. You know that Luis Garcia goal where he just whacks it from outside the box and it loops in over Gigi Buffon's head. I think Anthony Letalic got the assist for that, because I remember he was on the right wing and he just kind of side-footed it, and then the ball bounced, and then on the second bounce he whacked it into the goal. Salif Diao, Senegalese player, he didn't quite live up to his potential, to be honest. I'm in the PNW of the USA, so it's morning here. Nice, good stuff. What is PNW? Is that West Coast or is that Pennsylvania? I went to New York in February, which was nice, and I went to Philadelphia, which is quite nice. I took the Amtrak train. I gotta say, your trains are way better than our trains, because you get a lot of space on the seat and you get a lot of leg room. So it was one of the most comfortable journeys I've ever had. The trains in the UK are not good. Pacific Northwest. I'm just south of Portland, Oregon. Good stuff. My geography is not great. Let me try and get a rough idea. Okay, so it's kind of west coast near Seattle. Nice. That's probably why it's sunny for you. It's completely pitch black for us. What about Derby? Is that Stephen Derby? Stephen Derby? He was a right back, I think. I don't recall him being all that great. Nabil Alzar, Rafa Benitez used to absolutely love him, but he wasn't all that. I think he was a Moroccan winger. Damien Plessis. He's another one of those. During that time period, Liverpool signed a lot of these youngsters for very little money, and they were always hyped up to be the next big thing. But I feel like he was another one of those that was hyped up to be the next best thing, but didn't quite live up to that. Jay Spearing, he's back at Liverpool right now. He plays for the under 21s, even though he's not under 21, and he's not under 31, and he's not under 41, and he's not under 51, but he plays for the under 21s. David Ngog, not great, but scored a nice goal against United, so we love him for that. Grace loves the hat choice today. I appreciate that. I think the green goes quite well with the black, so I would have worn a white one today, but was wearing the white cap yesterday, so I had to go for a different color today. Keeps things exciting. Stefan is in the English Northwest. It's cold, wet, dark. Yeah, like most, like the English Northwest and also the English South and also the English East and also the West. It's been very cold and very dark recently. Even when I go outside, I like going for walks and things, and it's just not good conditions at the moment. Verticus says, "Hey, now I'm older than Spearing." To be honest, I think I might be older than Jay Spearing. Let me look up his actual age. Jay Spearing age. Where we are extremely close in age. there is a matter of weeks difference between me and Jay Spearing, it seems. But I feel like I'm aging better than Jay Spearing, because what in God's name is that? He looks like a zombie. I know that's kind of harsh, but he doesn't quite look right. So I'll take that. I'll take that as a positive. I'd love just to be able to play again. That is true. That is true. It's a bit of a weird one for me because I feel like I was more unfit in my 20s than I am in my 30s. But I understand where you're coming from. Corner, nothing happens. I'm 53 and I'm agreeing better than Spearing. Yeah. Just doesn't look quite human there. What about Dasena and Aurelio? Okay, we are focusing on left backs. Andrea Dasena is decent. I always find it weird that a left back wore the number 2. I almost feel like it should be instated in law that a left back has to wear number 3 and the right back must wear number 2. But regardless, he was alright. Scored a nice goal against United. Fabio Aurelio, I really liked. Signed him on a free from Valencia. Very good left back who could do the defensive aspects and the attacking aspects. Good from free kicks, good from dead ball situations. Fabio Aurelio, I thought was one of the best. Was one of the best free signings Liverpool ever had. Grace says you're going to change it at half time. I could do. The thing is, the only cap in my reach that I can grab is this one here. And you don't like this one. That makes it a bit more difficult. Fish says, which match was shocking? FA Cup Plymouth Liverpool or Oldham Liverpool? To be honest, I'm running out of shocking matches for Liverpool. I'd be tempted to go with that PSV, that 4-1 away from home. Because if it's a 1-0 or if it's a close game, you can almost understand. But to lose 4-1 at home, that is almost unforgivable. Grace says, are you in your 40s or 30s? I mean, the fact that the question has to be asked is a bit concerning, but 30s. I think I need to dye my beard again. But I figured, hey, we'll keep the beard black and white to match the shirt. That is that's what I'm pretending. Charlotte says, fun fact, Liverpool have a trophy room built under Anfield. Wow, so Liverpool have 2 trophy rooms and Spurs have none. Stefan is 52, almost 53, and my life is better now thanks to football live chat on YouTube. Appreciate that, Stefan. Very, very kind words. Grace says, no, keep that one on. You don't like this hat? To be honest, I think this is fine. I think this is I think it's alright. It's simple, but sometimes simple works. But yeah, you just don't like that hat in the slightest, which is funny because it's actually one of my favorites. Fish says, what about Nathan Eccleston? I don't remember too much about Nathan Eccleston, to be honest with you. Alberto Aquilani, he's probably one of the biggest disappointments. Liverpool signed him from Roma, I believe, and he came in as Xabi Alonso's replacement when Alonso left, and was hyped up to be amazing. He got the number 4 shirt, so he got a low number. He didn't get a high number as if he was a insignificant player. He got a low number. He was hyped up to be Alonso's replacement, and he was absolutely rubbish. Did Ayala play for Liverpool, as in Roberto Ayala? I don't remember that. As in the Valencia guy. He did not play for Liverpool, did he? There was Mauricio Pellegrino, who was his colleague who played for Liverpool. Yeah, Roberto Ayala didn't play for Liverpool. Do you mean Mauricio Pellegrino, who was Rafa Benitez's first signing? He signed him on a free. Is that who you mean, or is it a different Ayala? Oh, Daniel Ayala. I'll be honest. I have no clue who that is. Who's Daniel Ayala? Centre back. 2009 to 2011. Yeah, I don't remember much about him. Five appearances. Went to Hull, went to Derby, went to Norwich. Yeah. Didn't see too much of him, to be honest. Grace says, I thought you were about 45. I think I might need to dye the beard again. It is necessary. Looks like the first half might be finishing soon. What about Philip Dagan? I think he was Belgian, wasn't he? Belgian, possibly right back. He's another one of those, again, when Liverpool were kind of shopping in the bargain basement market. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can pick up some real gems and some real bargains shopping in that market. But Liverpool was shopping in that bargain basement market, and he was hyped up. Next big thing, Liverpool have purchased a gem, and then he was a bit of a dud. It's half time. Charlotte says, how will Liverpool manage squad rotation with so many expensive acquisitions? To be honest, they haven't really had to do that given the injuries. So, in terms of squad rotation, you'd be looking at a rotation between Isak and Ekitike. But with Isak being injured, there is no necessity for any type of rotation there. In terms of Wirtz, you could say Liverpool have managed that aspect of rotation with McAllister's form not being great. So Szoboszlai is deputised in McAllister's place, and Liverpool have also managed that because of the right back issue. So Liverpool haven't really had to choose between Szoboszlai and Wirtz. Wirtz has played in the attacking position, and Szoboszlai has just fitted in wherever. But other than that, I'm not sure who else would be classed as a expensive acquisition. There was Kerkez, which was about 40 million, which is not expensive these days, and I think he's just become the first choice. And Robertson's been relegated to the bench. Grace says, you can dye beards. You can. There is if you see some of the old clips I've uploaded, sometimes my beard is pitch black, and sometimes it's got a lot of grey in it. But yeah, you certainly can. Oh, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Philip Dagan. Yeah, he's Swiss. Yeah, I think you're correct. Bertica says Dominic Szoboszlai has been our best player this year. I would agree. In a team that looks very lethargic and very slow, and very devoid of confidence and very devoid of enthusiasm, Szoboszlai more often than not has been the complete opposite of that. He's starting the press. He's running around all over the place. Scored that good goal versus Arsenal. I appreciate he missed the penalty, but it feels unfair to hang that over him, given all he's done, this year. But yeah, I'd say he's been the best player. I'd say recently, in terms of very recent, you could maybe make the argument that Wirtz has been the best player. But I'd say yes, overall, if you take this season as a whole, I'd say Szoboszlai has been the best player. Jones always played hard, and he got a very good assist yesterday for Wirtz. I think it requires a certain amount of intelligence not to panic in that situation, because he was right next to the goal. So there's a big risk there that he doesn't look up, he doesn't turn around, and he just smacks it at the goal. So I'm glad that he used his brain, passed it back to Wirtz, who then smacked it in the goal. Fish says, how many Polish Liverpool players can you name? Oh God, you've got me. you've got me there. There was that player, Matthews. There was that youngster, Matthews something, who was really hyped up. Oh my God, I must be able to get one. One will come to me eventually. Stefan says, when you started doing this on day one, were you talking to no one? That is correct. So day one would have been March. So it's less than a year. And yeah, there was nobody there. There was nobody there. I don't remember the goal, but yeah. I would just talk about the game and then just talk about random things, like as I enjoy doing, as you can tell, and then eventually people started joining. But yeah, on day one there was no one, and maybe for the first few streams there were no one. Then you get people joining, and then that's how it seems to work. Oh my God, Jerzy Dudek. He must be the most obvious Polish player. I was overcomplicating it with there was a youngster like Musialowski or something who was at the club until very recently. But yeah, Jerzy Dudek. It's Grace's birthday on the 30th. Good stuff. Is that January the 30th? So that is Not this Friday coming up, the Friday after. Good stuff. What about Jermaine Pennant? Jermaine Pennant was good. Liverpool signed him from Birmingham. So I believe his trajectory was Arsenal, Birmingham City, then Liverpool. It was a time where Liverpool had absolutely no width. I can never say that word properly, width in the team. So Liverpool needed a natural winger. They gave him the number 16 shirt, I believe. And I think it was around 2007 when he joined. And yeah, he provided a bit of width and a bit of pace because Liverpool had none. Liverpool signed Antonio Nunes before that as part of the Michael Owen deal. But Nunes wasn't great. But I thought Pennant was decent. And to be fair, in certain games was quite good. Scored a pretty good goal against somebody, if I recall, from outside the box. Alvaro Arbeloa was decent, but he's now managing Madrid. Daniel Agger, I loved. In terms of all those Liverpool defenders at the time, in terms of Jamie Carragher, Sami Hyypiä, Stefan Ancho, Mamadou Sakho, Daniel Agger was always my favourite one. He was number 5 for Liverpool, which I always found weird because he was number 4 for Denmark. So I was like, make your mind up. Are you number 4 or are you number 5? But outside of that, I thought he was very good. He was a ball-playing centre-back. Before that was fashionable. Scored a very good goal with his left foot because he was left-footed. He scored a 30-yard strike with his left foot against somebody. And I always liked Daniel Agger. Eventually it reached the point where for some reason Skirtle was being thought of as higher than Agger, but Daniel Agger was always I always liked Daniel Agger. Good defender, good passer. He was almost kinda, and this is maybe a bit of an extreme, but he was almost a kind of mini Van Dijk before Van Dijk to a certain degree. Yeah, Dudek and Kamil Grabara and Fish. We can't forget Fish. Berticus agrees. Agger was great. Agger was Daniel Agger was absolutely amazing, and yeah, that was it. Yeah, he's got "You Never Walk Alone" tattooed on his knuckles, which is pretty amazing. And even now, he talks very fondly of the club. Casting my mind back as well. Now this is showing how old I am. Daniel Agger on Championship Manager 4, I believe. So Championship Manager was the precursor to the Football Manager game we have now. Daniel Agger was a wonder kid from Brøndby. So before he signed for Liverpool, he was a wonder kid in the game. And you would always sign him from Brøndby, who was his club at the time. And then when Liverpool signed him, I was so excited. Liverpool are signing that amazing player from that game that I play. And he was great. I absolutely loved Daniel Agger. Grace says you won't be live that day. I can try. 30th. Fish says he will. Fish is making the decision for me. He's saying he will. I can try on the 30th, which is tragic. Fish misses tennis ball, but yeah, you've changed your picture back. Tennis ball bird is probably the funniest thing you've ever shown me, and to be honest, you have shown me some funny things, but it's very rare that something still makes me laugh days later. tennis ball bird. You just know all these things that I just have no concept of. So when I see them, they make me laugh. There you go. Berticus P Maximus says happy early birthday, Grace, in case we miss it. That's good to see. Are you doing anything fun for your birthday? Or are you going to be taking it easy, or have you not decided yet? Grace says, is there any footy on the 30th? I'll have a look. I don't believe so, but we can probably still go live to look at the news. We can use that as an excuse, right? You know how we say these are football streams, but we very rarely talk about the football. We can just say we will go live to read the news. For example, what is the Liverpool news for the day? You know, this is the Liverpool news for the day, which has been the same Liverpool news that we've had for the past month. Liverpool fans lose faith in Arne Slot. I mean, I've been reading that for the past month or so. But yeah, that's what we can say. We can do a news stream, a Liverpool news stream. And then that way, there doesn't need to be a game on. I'm curious about this Liverpool player ratings against Burnley. They gave Alisson 6 out of 10. Frimpong 6 out of 10. Kanate 5. Van Dijk 6. Kirkes 7. Gravenberch 6. Curtis Jones 6. Szoboszlai 6. Vert 8. Gakpo 5. That's a bit high. Ekatike 7. They're probably quite decent ratings, to be honest. Has anybody found out why what's his name? Chiesa's got a black eye. I'm very curious. But yeah, we can just do something like that. Fish says you look like Viper Probe Droid. I mean, the fact that it has droid in its name makes me seriously doubt that. I mean, what would ever compel you to believe I resemble this creature? I mean, I can't even call it a creature. It's a robot. But I mean, I guess we both look kind of dark and shifty and a bit dodgy. I mean, that's probably I can see that connection there. But other than that, I might be struggling. Grace is going to the Borough game either this weekend or on the 31st. Nice. Oh yeah, I think you've mentioned that before. Have you been to the ground before, or is this going to be the first time? I think you've mentioned you have been previously, but it should be good. I'm going to the Liverpool Borussia Dortmund game, Legends game on March 28th or something like that. So that's the next one that I'm going to, which should be good. The Legends games are always fun. We'll set this back to 45 minutes because they're about to start the second half. What was the Newcastle score earlier? 0-0. Dang. I would not have expected that. You would have thought Voltamade, Visser, those guys would have at least gotten one goal. But it is what it is. They're coming out for the second half. David Moyes looks furious, which is David Moyes' permanent facial expression. Fish says, Matty Cash, that is your favourite player. Grace says, I've been to the Middlesbrough ground plenty of times, as you've mentioned. Yeah, the Liverpool game in March, which should be good. Legends game. I wonder if that means Klopp is going to be there, if it's Liverpool legends versus Dortmund legends. He certainly could be there. So I will keep an eye out for that. But yeah, they're about to start the second half. Fish needs 100 Viper probe droids to invade McAllister's house. Okay, for argument's sake, let's say they do that. But what happens after the invasion? Is purely the invasion the goal here, or does something happen after they invade? Are they going to kidnap McAllister? Are they going to secretly replace McAllister with somebody else? That is a question. What happens after the invasion? Stefan says Wolves unbeaten in 4. Wolves are starting to put a bit of form together. For a team that had 2 points around Christmas, they've probably tripled, possibly quadrupled their points tally. Unfortunately, it's probably too late for them. But it's nice to see them. It's nice to see them put a bit of form together, because they were in danger of having the lowest points tally ever. I think Liverpool play on the 31st. If you want to do that live instead, I will definitely be here for that. Liverpool Newcastle at 8 o'clock at night. That should be a good game. Even though it's Newcastle, unfortunately Isak will not be fit for that because he is back in March. But it will be a good game. I look forward to that. To be honest, I more look forward to Isak just getting a bit of fitness so that he can play. What is going on with Isak? Is there any context on this? Isak has a broken leg / ankle. Does that mean both the leg and the ankle are broken, or just one of them? Isak is recovering from a fractured fibula and ankle surgery following an injury against Spurs in late December. I feel like it was a lot longer ago than late December, because late December is less than a month ago. But hey ho, he's expected to be out for a couple of months, though Slot is confident he will play again before the season ends, late March 2026. So we're probably still a couple of months away, which is a bit unfortunate. But is anybody going to come back before that? Conor Bradley, pre-season, that's ages away. Gio Leone, August, that's even longer away. I didn't even know Rio was injured. But he played yesterday, so he can't be. But Cetic next month. Dan's and Salah should be soon. I mean, so Dan's and Salah might come back quite soon. So there is that. How are you doing, Pixel? Hope you are good. I hope all is well. Any luck with the New Vegas mods, or are they still being a pain in the backside? Charlotte says, rank these midfielders for tackling. Oh, God. Mascherano, Fabinho, Endo, Bacchetic. I mean, very tempted to leave it in that order. I'm just torn between whether I put Mascherano or Fabinho first, but I think generally speaking, I'd probably leave it in that order. Bertigas can't wait for Mo to come back. Same here. I think we definitely need him. I think he can be the X factor that makes that difference. And you'd think he'd go right back into the team, or at least I hope he does. But with Conor Bradley being injured, what I hope to see is Frimpong playing right back and then Salah playing right wing. And then you have what's the word? An extra bit of attacking impetus on the right side. I don't like when they play Conor Bradley right back and then Frimpong right wing. I just find that to be too defensive. I would rather they just go gung ho and put Frimpong right back and Salah right wing. Because Liverpool need to get a few more goals because Liverpool are gonna concede regardless. So let's increase the amount of chances that we can get, and Frimpong hopefully can also do the running for Salah. It was the stream that wasn't working. That is unfortunate. Hopefully that sorts itself soon. How is the FPL going? My plan to captain Haaland permanently is not going so well. So I might need to be a bit more proactive. I was banking on him getting at least a couple of goals yesterday, but guy did nothing, number one, and number two, City got battered, which is unfortunate because my fantasy team is full of Man City players. Grace misses mooing, but possibly also misses Salah. Well, he should be back soon. Possibly by the next game, you know. Possibly by the next game. But it will be interesting to see kind of what happens with Salah, because there was a whole rumor on him potentially leaving when they had that mini bust up before the African Cup of Nations. Now that the African Cup of Nations is over and done with, is he going to come straight back into the team? Is he going to be sold? Is he going to be benched? What's going to happen? So I am intrigued to see that. I just want to see the team be more attacking, because the team is too defensive in my opinion. But is defensive, but is still not winning games. So I'd rather they were attacking. Berticus says Mo is willing to shoot where there is and no one else on the right. That is true. There have been certain games where I've just been screaming at them just to take a damn shot. Do you really need to play 1,000 passes left, right, back, left, right? Just somebody just kick it. And perhaps the most damning example of that was Kerkez yesterday. Kerkez was about 5 centimeters away from the goal. 5 centimeters away. And it's like, dude, it's if you kick it as hard as you can, it's impossible to miss from 5 centimeters away, because the angle is too narrow. It will either go in or it will deflect and go in. And what does he do despite being 5 centimeters away? He decides to cross it. And when he decides to cross it, the ball was intercepted and Liverpool failed to score. So Kerkez is developing the Robertson disease, where he just refuses to take a shot. So that's probably where having Salah in the team will help. He'll actually take a shot. Stefan says Marseille versus Liverpool, 8 p.m. Wednesday, which I will have to watch on TNT Sports. Indeed, I shall be in another country. But the positive news is I shall be back on Saturday, where Liverpool are playing another team whose name begins with B. But yeah, I am curious about how that game is gonna go. To be honest, I reckon if I had to guess, I reckon they've probably semi given up on the season and are probably just hoping for top 4. And then I reckon at the end of the year, they will probably make a managerial change. Liverpool don't strike me as a club who makes managerial changes on a whim. And they don't strike me as a club who makes managerial changes mid-season, and unless it's the right thing to do. I remember the Klopp Brendan Rodgers was October, November. But you can even say with a October, November change, at least whoever's coming in then at least has a transfer window and at least has the most of the season. So I reckon they'll wait. And then we'll have to see what happens. What are your favorite trading cards? Are these the football trading cards you were referring to? Charlotte says Wijnaldum, Gravenberch, or Henderson. It almost seems unfair to include Gravenberch in that because he hasn't really. I feel like he's at the start of his career. But in terms of Wijnaldum or Henderson, I'd probably give it to Henderson just. I'd probably give it to Henderson's just about. Fish says you look like Essential. I have no idea who that is. Is this some sort of rapper or something? Because when I Google that, I just get medicine. And I'm fairly sure I don't look like a box of medicine. But not 100% sure. So you might have to provide a bit more clarity on that. Is it a rapper? Is it an artist of some sort? Colombian League started this weekend. We won 4-0. Woohoo. Oh, nice. That's a pretty emphatic win. Who's your team again? I feel like you've mentioned this before. And I'm trying to remember. It's somewhere in the back of my head. But 4-0 either way. That's 4 more goals than Liverpool score. That's it. That is the one. Yeah, 4-0. It take Liverpool 4 games to score 4 goals because we have a hard cap. We have a hard cap on 1 goal per game, and once that's done, we're no longer interested. I can still jump ship, but then that's a lot more shirts I'd have to buy. Berticus says Mo is an absolute legend. And if we lose Mo due to slot incompetence, I'm going to be more than angry. I think he probably will go at the end of the season. And if he goes, like, it's, I'd want it to be some sort of positive. I'd want it to be some sort of positive ending, given kind of everything he's done for the club. You could certainly say for this decade he was the biggest Liverpool player. And additionally, if he goes, and I'm always tempted to say when, because I just get the feeling it's a foregone conclusion. But when he goes, I hope a adequate replacement comes in. There's rumours about Michael Elise, who might have a release clause. He could be an option. But I think whoever they bring in will never be prime Salah's level. But if they can be pretty good, I think that's most we can hope for. Grace has potentially changed onto TikTok, potentially. Unless this is a different Grace, but it's potentially YouTube Grace. I'm wearing the nice. So you can say, look, I've been supporting them for a very long time. Sometimes people say to me, you've only started supporting Liverpool recently, and I'm like, what? I wish that was true, because then I would not have seen years of dross. Ooh, shot. Everton have scored. But it's been disallowed. I don't think it's been disallowed. I'm waiting for the VAR. I'm waiting for the VAR check before I update the score. Fish says, "What do you think of Ospina? Since you mentioned him before, that means I have to say positive things about him." Grace says, "Where's Mo Scalt? Mo Scalt is celebrating United's win yesterday. Reluctant Gamer is not having the best day after Newcastle drew against Wolves. Zame is like me, not having the best day after Liverpool drew yesterday. And Johnny was here earlier. So you know where you see a shadow guy on YouTube? That is Jonathan. What is the first season you remember? It's either it was Liverpool 4, Newcastle 3, where Stan Collymore scored. It was either that one or it was Liverpool 5, Chelsea 1. I actually need to see which of those was earlier, because those are the two earliest games I remember watching. So Liverpool 5 for 1 Chelsea, and it was 5-0, but I believe Frank Leboeuf got the one. Yeah, so it's either this one, 96-97, or Liverpool 4-3 Newcastle. Funnily enough, they're both the same season. So I'd say this 1996. Yeah, where Stan Collymore scored. Time is not working. That's my fault for not restarting it. Let's fix that. There we go. Grace says it's too laggy. Oh, is that TikTok? Is it lagging? Is TikTok lagging? Is it lagging for you, Mr. Default TikTok? Because I was checking something on TikTok yesterday, and the audio was a bit weird. Is it lagging for you as well, or is it just lagging for Grace? But who's worse, Gyökeres or Sesko? Okay, that's a bit of a relief. Who's worse, Gyökeres or Sesko? I'd be tempted to say Gyökeres because at least Gyökeres has been given a chance. At least Gyökeres has been playing, whereas Sesko's been mostly benched. So I know people say, "Oh, Sesko's a flop, Isak's a flop, this person's a flop," but I almost feel like you can't deem them to be a flop until they get a consistent run in the team. So I'd say Gyökeres, to be honest with you, probably worst. Yeah, it looks like it might just be you, but I'll see. I might have to look into that. Oh, you were at that 4-3 Collymore game. Stefan was at that game. That game is my earliest memory. One of the earliest memories in my head is Stan Collymore running off celebrating the goal. That's one of my earliest memories. It's pretty crazy that you were there, but pretty cool. You won a ticket for it. Nice. Of all the games to go to, that's a pretty good one. I mean, I was tempted to ask, was it good? But I know it was good. I know it was good based on the result. Sesko had been decent at linking up when he's played. To be honest, I almost feel like he hasn't. I almost feel like he hasn't been given a fair chance. So I'm a bit reluctant to call him a flop yet. So I'm curious to see what happens when he gets a chance. You were also at that game. It was before you were born, but you were there. You were there in spirit. Berticus is also switching to YouTube. YouTube should work a bit better. I have to jump through lots of hoops to make TikTok work. It's a bit of a complicated technical explanation. If you're ever bored, I can explain technically how I'm making the TikTok work But to make YouTube work is very simple. I just have to click a button. But to make TikTok work, I have to set something separate up, which is quite complicated. So whenever people say it's lagging, I get a bit worried because I'm thinking, have I done something wrong in the setup, or has the setup changed? But with the YouTube, it's easy. I just click a button. So I'd be surprised if that was lagging. That should not lag. So it just gets me slightly worried. Yeah, not a flop yet. I mean, it's similar to Wirtz where we were saying, look, he's a young player, moving to a foreign country, moving to a more physical league. Generally speaking, and I appreciate everyone has a different opinion. I don't deem a player a flop until they've had 2 years. 2 years is generally my indicator, or is generally my time frame. So I was all aboard the Darwin Núñez train. I was thinking, look, he's not had time to adapt yet. Villa hit it over. He's not had time to settle. I think he'll be good. But once 2 years had passed, I reached the point where I was thinking, yeah, this is not going to work. So that's what I'd go for. I wish we didn't sign Sesko. Is there anybody you would have got instead of Sesko? Is there a different player? Stefan took penalties on the pitch at half time during that 4-3 game. Wow. So you didn't only go to the game, you also were able to take penalties at half time. That's pretty amazing. I can't lie, I am quite jealous, but more kind of happy for you, to be honest, because that's a pretty amazing memory. Not just to go to that game, which is one of the most memorable games ever, but to get to take penalties on the pitch. Fish needs to take a both. What do you mean by that? Oh, I didn't take a bath, possibly. But the O and the A are not near each other on the keyboard. Bert Hansen, possibly also Berticus P. Maximus, says Darwin missed a lot of open shots, but you could not question his passion and heart. I agree. And I think regardless of his technical limitations, he would always run. He would always put the effort in. Regardless of how bad the game was going, regardless of how bad the result was, regardless of how bad the situation is, he'd always run. He'd always give 100%. And I think that's an underrated quality. Just to completely ignore the noise, just to completely ignore the situation, and just carry on going, regardless of what else is happening. And yeah, and I think we missed that now. I think we missed that now, because I think you could certainly say Núñez was doing the running and Diaz also. They were both doing the running for Salah last year. So yeah, we missed. I think we missed that this year. It's one of those cases where I realize I haven't even updated the score. I'll update that in a bit. It's one of those situations where you don't know how you had it until it's gone. But yeah, it's Everton 1-0. I just completely forgot to update the score earlier. A midfielder, fair enough. You would have gotten Sesko equals Højlund. I mean, that's probably the harshest insult you could direct at a human being. But if that's the way you feel. A right back and a left back. Yeah, I think your transfer window, not this one, as in not January, but in the summer will be interesting. So not just your window, but also who the manager is. It's Berticus P. Maximus, to clarify. I will have to do my best to remember that. Berticus P. Maximus, as per the TikTok username. Grace has moved over to Twitch. Says, how's your day been? It's all right. I did a bit of exercise last night because I've not been exercising recently because I was sick. And you know, the first time you lift weights after you've not lifted weights for a while, you then end up really sore the next day. So that's me today. But the good thing about waking up sore is that you sleep really, really well. So yeah, what I will say, weights are a lot heavier. The exact same weights are a lot heavier than they were just a few months back. So I need to build myself back up. Berticus P Maximus says they're running opened up a lot of teams. It was able to break open those low blocks. Very true. The running and the unpredictability of it, because you definitely you didn't know what Diaz was gonna do, and I think Nunes himself did not know what Nunes was gonna do. So just imagine the level of kind of unpredictability there. And quite often, Diaz, Nunes would drag players out of position, which then freed Salah up to have a record-breaking season. And I definitely think we missed that last year. And I think another aspect that we missed, that perhaps is not focused on enough, was that Diaz and Nunes, they were selfless players. They had a bit of Firmino in them, in the sense that they were selfless. And they would... Oh, good clearance by Lindelof. That's not Lindelof. I should have known because it was a good clearance. But they were quite selfless in terms of they were happy for Salah to be the star. Whereas this year, it's great having Vert, it's great having Isak, it's great having Ekitike, but they are a lot less selfless. They all want to be the star. And that's not necessarily a problem, it's just different. But I think in past years, everyone has been happy for Salah to be the star, but now they all want to be the star. And in certain aspects, that can have a detrimental effect. Fish says, I look like whatever that is. And don't say that too quickly, because then you might get a knock on the door. Ooh, good save. Pixel has been exercising too. Good stuff. Did a 4.5 mile hike the other day. Nice. It's one of those things, I guess, when you first get into it, or should I say when you get back into it, you are quite sore because your muscles need to readjust. But eventually, when you keep doing it, you start feeling better. I've gotten into walking again. I had to put a bit of a break on it because we had a lot of snow when I was sick. But I need to get back to how I was in February. You know, when I was that day when I was in Manhattan and I walked 20 miles and I felt perfectly fine. I need to get back into that state because currently when I walk a few miles, I'm feeling tired. So it's going to take a bit of time. Under the Floodlight says Villa sold Marlon and Marlon just scored a brace. Villa are not going to be happy with that. Grace says, any other socials you're on? That's a good question. I think these are the main ones. There's also Kick, but to be honest, Kick seems a bit dead. if I'm honest with you, I'd say you found the main ones. Grace goes to the gym on Friday. What is your choice of exercise at the gym? Do you do weights? Do you do cardio? Do you do treadmill? Or is it a bit of everything? Mr. Default wouldn't mind Nuno Mendes. I would mind you getting Nuno Mendes because I think I set myself up for that, but that's quite funny. Yeah, you absolutely do not want that social. But oh my god, just imagine the horror. But yeah, Nuno Mendes. I hope you don't get him. I think he's amazing. There's no chance of Liverpool getting him now that he has Kirkers. So if Nuno Mendes can stay put, and if you could just stick with Luke Shaw and Dogu, the world would be a happier place. And when I say the world, I mean me. Grace says, what does the heart mean? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I don't understand like a lot of the Twitch elements and the Twitch functionality, to be to be honest with you. I should probably learn, but I'm not too sure. That's some reading for me to do on the flight on Tuesday. Patrick Dogu is the next Nuno Mendes. Well, I certainly hope not. He seems to be getting better, to be fair. Scored a nice goal yesterday. I think he got a goal a couple of games back. So he seems to be improving. But yeah, I'd say Nuno Mendes was perhaps the standout left back of last season. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure how he's doing this season. I haven't seen too much of PSG. But he's probably going to be up there. Stefan says, you could do 10 to 15 miles in Budapest. I do 20 a day in summer, cycled 18 yesterday. Yikes, that is impressive. My Budapest itinerary, I can never say that word, is mostly walking. So I'm looking forward to working off today's pizza and yesterday's burger in Budapest on Tuesday, Wednesday. It is mostly walking I've got planned. But yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to walk when you're on holiday because you don't know what you'll come up, you don't know what you'll encounter. Lots of castles, lots of viewpoints, and then you'll see a viewpoint and you're thinking, okay, I need to walk to the top of that, and then before you know it, you've walked a mile. So I'm looking forward to that 100%. Grace does Joe Wicks for about 10 minutes before we leave, but I normally do bike and treadmill. Good stuff. Bit of cardio. Bit of cardio is always good. Yeah, Grace is gonna let us know. Football Skills says, yo bro, it's me. How are you doing? Football Skills. How is your weekend going? Was the Barry goal good? Is that who scored for Everton? is that who scored? The Everton goal, whoever that guy was that scored, it was nothing special, to be honest. But it's just hit me that Villa are behind at home to Everton of all teams. We need Villa to pick this up, man. We can't let Everton have. Sorry, we can't let what's their name? We can't let Arsenal have a free reign of the league. But they've got about 15 minutes to figure this out. Football Skills says 007 indeed. Fish says Google next time Gornick won the league. Since you asked. I mean, you should know. Why don't you tell me when it is? Tell me when you think it is, and then we can double check it to see if you are accurate. Since you are a fan of that team, it should be first-hand knowledge. Football Skills says, was Aston Villa top 5 in Premier League? I mean, I believe they're second or third currently. I think they might be third, and if they were to get a result here, they'd go to second, I think. But what it seems like is most neutrals Most neutrals, if their team can't win the league, they'd be happy for Villa to win the league. It was 1873, which is also the year that the delivery driver was born, who called me brother the other day. You know where I got offended? Villa with his shot. Jesus. I think Villa might equalise, because it is currently just Villa attack after Villa attack after Villa attack. Yeah, they're there or thereabouts. Are they fourth? So who is? Let's have a quick look actually. So who is third then? I thought they were third. Yeah, they are. They are third. So Villa are third, but if they are able to get a draw here, they would go up to second. I am mildly concerned about Arsenal's 7-point lead. Not significantly concerned, but mildly. But the last two games, I think, have been draws, so that is a positive. Liverpool are fourth, which again doesn't really mean much, because you can be fourth, but in actuality, you are 3 points off ninth. So even though people are saying, yeah, Liverpool fourth, yeah, I mean you are fourth, but but lose a couple of games and you can end up bottom half. So that table is very close. That block of teams there, you got Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Brentford, Newcastle, Sunderland. 3 points between them. And then if you include Everton, 4 points between them. Grace says, I think they are channel points I'm sending you, but I'm not fully sure. I appreciate that. I'm not too sure kind of what they are, but it sounds like a positive thing. So thank you for that. Berticus P. Maximus says, would it make you feel better if I just refer to you as nephew from now on? I'll take that. Nephew works. I was just a bit dumbfounded when the when the delivery driver called me brother, and he looked like my dad. And I was like, okay, but it did. It did damage my ego slightly. I can't lie. Not that I visually have much of an ego, but it just made me. The first time somebody says it to you, it makes you go, "Huh? When did that happen?" I would have been nephew, I would have been son previously, but now I'm bro. Ali, or is it Elisa? I believe it might be Ali. Says Arsenal have agreed Ali Sow from Rise for 35 million euros. Sauce is a Turkish sauce. My favorite Turkish sauce is garlic, but that's my second favorite. Who's this? Rise? You'll have to tell me who that is, because whenever I search for Rise, it shows me Declan Rice. You'll have to tell me a bit about who that is. Football skills _footballers says if City complete the signing of Mark Gay, they might go first. He is what they need. I wouldn't go as far as to say they have a defensive crisis at the moment. But with Ruben Diaz being injured, it would it would certainly strengthen them. You could say they looked a bit frail at the back yesterday. So if you're signing a 25-year-old Premier League proven captain centre-back who is also English, therefore counts towards the quota, 25 is a fantastic age for a centre-back. You're probably going to get a good 10 years out of him If you think about it. Centre-backs are still very good up to, say, 35. And who knows what advancements are going to be made with respect to medicine and physiotherapy in the next decade. Maybe you can go till 37. So I think 25 is a perfect age. Appreciate the wages are high, but it's I think it's a fantastic transfer. SPO says Arsenal will pay by win nothing in this season, especially the Premier League. Arsenal fans say big thanks to Mikel Arteta, the king of bottle Arteta, especially you, Cup, dude. What is funny is whenever Arsenal get in a position where you feel like they can extend their lead, they do tend to bottle it, as people say. Yesterday would have been a prime example for them to extend their league, but they always manage to fluff their lines. If you ask me to guess, I would still say City are going to win it, 100%. Fish says I look like that. That strikes me as another robot, Fish. Am I correct? Grace says, I get the points by watching your stream and I can spend them to send hearts in the chat. It's a way to show I'm hyped or supporting you without using real money. Good stuff. I would say 100%. Don't spend any real money. But if it's a free thing, then yeah, 100%. If it's free, then that's fine. That's okay. You've sent 30 so far. Good stuff. I didn't know what it is, so I've learned something. Ali So. Gambian footballer. Is he any good? Are you familiar with this player? Ali So is a Gambian. Interesting. Ali So is a Gambian professional footballer who plays for Turkish club Kayka. I'm pronouncing that wrong. And he's a 31-year-old striker. That is interesting. 31-year-old striker. Have they lost faith in Gyökeres already? That they're going to replace him with a 30-year-old striker whose record is 17 matches, 3 goals. Not great, but one to keep the eye on, 100%. Fish is saying, yo bro, eat bro, remix coming tomorrow. And Umar says, bro, already eaten. I have already eaten them. I ate pizza as a combined breakfast and lunch, if that makes sense. That's the way I was able to rationalize it. So I appreciate there's a lot of calories, but it was my combined breakfast and lunch. That's the way I rationalized it. Football Skills says Arsenal are going to battle it again, even with a tiny mistake. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me. The thing is with Man City is they know how to win. They know how to win titles. They know how to go on a run. They know how to get it over the line. And if there's a gap in the team, they will fill the gap. Or if they can think they can improve the team, they will improve the team. They will get Semenyo. They will get Mark Guehi. And who's to say they'll stop at Mark Guehi? Maybe they'll get another one after that. So I would still put City. I still put City as my first choice. Grace says it's either channel points or bits. I see. I've learned something today. I'm not too familiar with what that is. So it's a reward you get that Twitch gives if you watch something. Interesting. SBO says if Arsenal will play like they did against Forest, they will lose to United. Wolves is the most easy food for City. To be honest, most teams are probably quite easy for City. As unfortunate it is to say that. I just think you have too much experience. Not just your players, not just the Haalands, but also the Guardiolas of this world. And I think the flip side is Arteta is a bit pragmatic in the sense that when things are going well, he gets a bit nervous, and then he will stop being as attacking as he once was. So I think that could happen. Eventually, Arteta is going to get a bit nervous and go very defensive, and then they will lose points. And then that will give City an opportunity to catch up. Grace says, "Oh, I think there are bits which is bad because they are real money." Oh, right, yeah. Don't give them any real money. I'll still read everything out. But yeah, you don't need to give me or Twitch anything real. Vixen, who is potentially also the legend known as Peter Johnson, says, "What are these heart things? I feel like I'm missing out." I think it's a Twitch thing. If it's free, then yeah, press it. But if it charges you, don't do it, because there's too many people online that just begging people for donations and things. So if it's a real thing, don't do it. But if it's free, then yeah. I think it's just a thing that appears. Stefan says there's no justification for pizza as breakfast. You know this. I've let the whole country down. I've let the whole continent down. I've let myself down, and worst of all, I have let Stefan down. As sad as it is to say this, that's not the first time I've done this. But it just feels like a nice way to combine what's the word? To combine breakfast and dinner, so that I only have to do it once. That's my justification. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully it's I think it's just a Twitch thing, but hopefully it's free. Like I still read all the comments anyway, so I'll still I think hopefully it's just a free thing on Twitch. I will probably eat dinner because as I said, I had a combined breakfast and lunch, so I'm a bit hungry now. Yeah, those things I created, those ones there. What is Sabun? Sabun, is that the team name? But it's interesting that Arsenal are buying a striker for 1 million after they just bought a striker for 60 million in the summer. Have they already given up on Gyökeres? Or am I looking too much into this? Fish says corner goal, Matty Cash. Is that your prediction? It's currently a free kick for Everton. SBO says Haaland ghosting, but next match for Man City will be in cold Norway. I mean, if it's in cold Norway, that is the perfect environment for Haaland. He'll probably score about 23 goals before half time. Fish has broken wind. I appreciate that. I appreciate the updates always about your bowel movements and the like. It's always good context that I value and cherish. So thank you for that. See, Grace knows what I mean. Grace had Italian food for breakfast. I also had Italian food for breakfast. Because you can just combine the two, which means you don't need to then make lunch. That's my logic. Sometimes I'll have a burger for breakfast because it means I don't then have to make lunch, and it's less washing. I have a dishwasher, but I still have to load it, unload it. So it's just less for me to do. Oh yeah, I forgot these emoji things that I made. I made those maybe. Ooh, close. Maybe about a couple of months back. Bodo Glimt versus City on Tuesday. I mean, it seems like I am missing. I'm gonna miss quite a few games next week. But it is what it is. Berticus had coffee for breakfast so far because Berticus is just south of Oregon on the west coast, which is just south of Seattle, which is just south of Vancouver in Canada, where I'm potentially considering going in a few months. And he says, I had coffee for breakfast so far. I'll have lunch in a couple of hours. Seems like a good plan. Seems like a very good plan. But there's about a minute left. Unfortunately, I think Everton are winning this. Fish says, oh my God, did you call me baby? I did not, but for argument's sake, let's pretend I did. Maybe, is that okay? Yeah, cool. I liked it. Cool. Again, valuable context. It's full time here. Villa have lost. And to make matters worse, it's Everton that are beating them. SBO says, this idiotic Tottenham lose to West Ham at home 2-1. But they cursed dogs will turn into Brazil 2002 if they play against Man City. They do seem to up their effort against City. I don't know if they have some sort of agenda or some sort of beef or some sort of hatred for City. But they do seem to play really well against City for some reason. And I don't know why. But then when they play somebody else, they're useless. So I think you're correct. You're onto something. Grace says goal. There was one goal today, but it is full time. So I'll probably stop the timer because then people ask if the match is still going. Fish says, can I come with you to Hungary with tennis ball, bird and Korean penguin? I mean, you could. I could potentially hide you in my suitcase. Actually, I can't. I'm not going to take a suitcase because it's a short trip. So I can try hiding you in my backpack. But then there'll be no space for my clothes. So I haven't quite figured that bit out. Berticus says, it was great meeting all of you and you too. I'll catch you all soon. Take care, Berticus. I'm on holiday next week, but I'll be back on Saturday. But yeah, hope you enjoy your lunch and your weekend. Take care. Fish says, Google Korean penguin. You look like him. I mean, the last few people you've asked me to Google, I don't see the resemblance, but before I go, I'll have a quick look. Oh my God. Honestly, I mean, it looks a bit like a nun. It looks a bit like a nun with the, the kind of head thing. I do not look like this thing. I mean, I don't have dimples. I mean, potentially I have chubby cheeks. It's called Pengsu, by the way. That's the name of this thing. Every Premier League team always gets 2-time power increase when they play against Man City, apart from Liverpool, apart from my team, because you battered us 3-0, which I still remember. Grace having fun with the emotes. Grace says, no, now we have to say bye until Saturday. That is correct. So next stream will be on Saturday, but I'll be online. You can tag me in jokes and things, and I will respond. Fish's favorite player is Matty Cash because Fish has a crush on Matty Cash, and Matty Cash also has a crush on Fish. And I've learnt Fish is my father, apparently, according to that. So that's new information. But anyway, I am going to go now. Number one, to go for a walk. Because as I said, in that week I was sick. I didn't do much walking, so I need to get back up to my high standards of walking. But yeah, take care, guys. As I said, won't be around during the week, but I'll be around next Saturday. Provided my plane doesn't crash. Provided that doesn't happen, I will be back. Take care, Charlotte. Take care, Grace. Take care, Fish, and also Stefan. Enjoy your weekends. I will try to enjoy mine. But yeah, take care, guys. Cheers.